going on,
Hey
everybody? Back with another episode of the beloved Dorsey's podcast. Try it again. We back with another episode of
the beloved Dorsey's podcast.
We are your hosts,
the beloved Dorseys.
I'm Justin Dorsey.
I'm Imani Dorsey.
And we are two people who don't know nothing and just be talking about stuff that we experience in our lives. And
sharing what we've learned and learning new things and forever growing and learning.
All that stuff. This episode is just a continuation of our last week's episode, finishing talking about resolving / avoiding arguments. More focus on avoiding than if you've been having like a long-standing arguments, but avoiding it or coming to some type of conclusion, I guess, of understanding. But before we get to there, do a little recapping, a little talking, because my wife is that girl.
Anyways, so I'm that girl. Y'all should know this.
She is her.
She is her. I am her. She is me.
Her, you are warm.
Period.
I love you.
Okay.
I love you, but I'm also.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Talk to the people.
Hot.
You hot? I'm just saying, you hot. You real hot in the streets.
This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
Hey.
This is why.
Hey.
This is why.
Hey.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly.
Hey.
You ain't because you not.
Hey.
This is why. This is why.
Hey.
This is why I'm hot. All right. Anyways.
They get a whole different side of you and stuff. She normally reserves this side of herself for me, and it usually in the kitchen, the open areas. That's where I get this.
Well, technically, it's just me and you. We don't need nobody else. So I told y'all that I did a model casting call. Had no idea what I was doing. Was walking that walk, talking that talk. Like, hey, I want to be a part of this Black Bridal show. And on Friday? What day was it?
It was Friday.
Friday, yeah. On Friday, I got an email. Your girl got it. We in there.
I mean, and it nothing else could happen until you found out the result. And your phone was hating on you.
My phone would not load, and so the anxiety
connected it to Wi-Fi. Everything
took it off the
just
Wi-Fi.
Kept spinning.
I was down bad, and like my anxiety was just like through the roof. My body got hot. I lost my appetite.
She logged in on my phone and then was trying to get it to work. I was like, let me see. This is my phone now. I'm the captain now.
Why would you try to take it from me when I'm trying to figure out information?
I was trying to help you.
Do you want me to read it to you? No, I don't want you to read it to me. I want to see it with my own two eyes.
Like, open it, make it work so I can do the things. Would you like how?
No.
You do what I said.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, the girl got it. So August 8th, 12th?
I actually have no idea what the date is. I don't.
20th.
In all the commotion, I don't remember you actually
August
even
20th.
saying a date.
I believe. I think it's August 20th. I'll get the date. Anyway, that girl will be in a wedding dress, walking that walk.
You can make y'all rehearse and stuff.
I don't know. I'm waiting for the welcome email. I've never done this. I have no idea.
They're probably going to make y'all rehearse. What if you got like a crazy rehearsal schedule? Like 3 days a week in a couple weeks leading up to it.
You said in a couple weeks leading up to it? That's not crazy.
I
several months in advance.
I'm sure it's not. I don't think that stuff works like that. But
no, I mean they do it closer to the date. I don't know. They're gonna send an email, and I'm gonna learn more information that way. So, we'll see.
It'll be a learning experience.
It'll be a surprise. Anyways, back to how do we redirect arguments? You were saying?
I mean, we had just started touching on the topic, so I'll probably repeat some of the things. Also, we'll have points of reference because we got to exercise some of those skills today.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
And do those sit-ups right and tuck your tummy tight and do your crunches like this. Don't skip over that part. That's the most important part. See, you're skipping the steps.
I didn't skip it.
Messing up Kanye's workout plan.
I didn't skip it.
Anyway, avoiding arguments. For me.
For him.
For me.
This one.
What I find to be most important or that I need most in these situations is understanding my own emotions. Even in whatever we were talking about today in previous arguments, or disagreements, what you can get caught up in the just having feelings and not actually analyzing what are these feelings and what is the motivation for these feelings. If you are I'm just mad, I'm angry because this happened. No, I have to kind of dig a little deeper. Okay, actually, I was embarrassed that when you said this or you made this joke, I was embarrassed. And a lot of times, when you're able to share with your partner and be vulnerable enough with your partner to get to the root reason of why you do things, your motivations, and you then reach a better understanding of each other and the motivations, and it becomes much easier to communicate and then actually reach a resolution for what the problem was, as opposed to just, I am mad because you were wrong and you did this thing and you shouldn't be wrong anymore. Instead of, I get embarrassed when we joke about my orange shoes because I was never allowed to do things with orange when I was a kid because whatever, and now orange is special to me and I am sensitive about when my partner or when people don't like my orange things. Whatever the case, fill in your blanks here.
So, funny enough, a while ago, I was somewhere and they were having the conversation of the fact that men don't want to talk sometimes. Women always want to talk, and it's nagging, and it's this, that, and the third. And
it's not always the case.
Was supposed to be in a space that was a little more uplifting and empowering, and kind of realizing, I felt bad at that time because I was just like, well, I don't think that's the case with us. I feel like our conversations are valuable, even if they're not always happening when we want to talk. They hold value in the sense of they get us to a better space together where we can understand one another.
I think I want to be very clear. You be liking to talk sometimes, but I think it depends on what space we're talking about.
No, sir. Because you also.
Hence why I say it depends on the space. Because when I get going or I'm in a certain mood, your boy can rap. I'll be rapping like it's Christmas time.
Come on.
But if we're talking about especially phone calls, you like just having that time and talking about nothing, sometimes not talking, sometimes just making commentary to yourself, to me. Yeah, so it depends on, I guess, what you count as.
So let's put it into perspective. You are my safest space. Mm-hmm. I can be 1,000% myself with you. Don't have to explain anything. You know me, blah, blah, blah. So it is almost like a safety or security blanket in those spaces of I just want you to sit on the phone with me. I don't want to be without you at this current moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was acknowledging that earlier in my mind, where we are just getting to a space in our marriage where, as far as I'm concerned, I'm getting the okay for me to not necessarily always be with my wife. It's okay for us to be doing separate things and it not being an issue. Like her working in the back and I don't necessarily have to be in the back with her because, we got to spend all our free time together, or she wants to run an errand to the store, some errands to the store. I don't really want to go to the store, and it being okay that I don't have to go with her. But she was making a run to the store, and then within 5 minutes called me, 2 different times. So I was like,
the store was closed.
The reasons are irrelevant because the conversation went well past what the initial purpose of the call was.
The second call said bye like several times.
And you never hung up.
You stayed on the phone.
I didn't know it was my job to hang up.
He likes talking to me. Don't let this move talk for you.
So anyway, I'm sitting there and realizing, I was like, dang, I could be listening to my podcast because that was my plan while I was cooking. And I decided, I was like, we don't spend as much phone time as we used to at all, and I feel like this is something that's important to my wife, and I'm already not there with her. There's nothing really stopping me from sitting on the phone with her, and I may not be all right with talking as long or staying in the space as long as she can, but for this time I can chill out and just listen to her comment on the things that she's. I would hear what they sounded like. Like when she screamed, it sounded like she went to the left. Go look to the left and find my wife.
Somebody call it.
What else do you know? She went off to the left. That's what it sounded like on the phone.
Someone could have stilled me.
So. Yeah, I don't really remember what the point is, but sometimes it's just giving your partner what you feel like they need, not making a big things out of small things, but also it is very important to express things, because in our conversation today too, we realized something about not just doing things because you think it's expected of you and not expressing how you feel, whether I want to do this thing, I don't want to do this thing, I'm just doing this thing because I think you expect me to do this thing, but it wasn't ever, nothing was ever said. So now I'm in a space that nobody made me be in this space, but I'm, doing these things. So that is like another form of unexpressed expectations, I guess, on the other side, where I'm putting expectations on myself because that's what I think my partner would want, to try to avoid this argument that was actually never going to happen.
Also realizing as a people pleaser that I learned to exercise my what?
I forgot to start my timer. Keep on going.
Oh, I learned to exercise my boundaries with my husband so that I can then exercise my boundaries in other spaces. And so that means that I am talking past being frustrated. I'm talking past being upset, in the most constructive way possible at the current moment. Even if it comes down to saying, no, I'm angry, or I'm irritated, or I'm frustrated, or I'm annoyed. Instead of trying to taking on your feelings as my own feelings, and kind of, for lack of better words, giving into how you feel, instead of us getting to an even space of understanding one another, understanding our logic and our thought process behind stuff. So having to learn that it is really hot in here. It's kind of wild.
I mean, so it's already. So the room already needs, we need to fix into the AC, but this room in general is hot because we got equipment back here.
These lights are lighting.
And then adding lights in addition to it. Also, we're touching each other right now, and we both got some thighs on us. And because of the material of the couch, stop? It also it's just. The girl hot. She hot.
This is why I'm hot.
A hot tamale. So,
so this will sound crazy.
And then add on top of that, which you're recording. You can't turn no fan on. That's just dumb. And unless you want to hear in the background. This is ridiculous. Right. There was one thing I was going to bring up before. So talking about. What do you want to call them? Reversed unexpressed expectations? I don't know. It's self-imposed expectations. And I've heard somebody talk about this before, but so remember when I told you I had just kind of fallen asleep when you had gotten up? I feel like I've done it before, but sometimes I feel like I don't want my partner to catch me sleeping. Like, I feel like it's gonna be bad or get woken up, or why are you laying down now or something. If you get caught sleeping where they're not sleeping and they're doing stuff. And in my mind, when I had gotten back home from doing like a work run, she was sleeping, and I think I did some stuff. I didn't I don't know. I did some stuff in the house, and then I went and sat down, and I watched one thing, and then I started to drift off. She was still in the back sleeping because my wife works very hard. She sacrifices a lot of sleep to do all the business stuff and all her extra things. So she was still in the back. I was like, cool, I might just close it down for a few minutes here. I honestly don't know how long I was asleep, but I really don't. I don't think it had been long. I didn't feel like I really got good and knocked out. And she came, and I think I was kind of half listening. So every time the dog, or Zeke's heavy behind, was coming walking down, I was like, oh, she's up. Let me get up. Hold on. Oh, dang, that was Zeke's fat behind. I'm going back to sleep.
Why didn't you just come get in the bed?
So you get very mad if I come in there and I wake you up from moving around.
No.
So even the process of me trying to get in there, it's still, there's going to be a settling. I can't just get in there and just.
So that part is fine. Now, if you get in the bed and you're like doing all this extra
with the phone on,
touching and stuff, that's too much. But if you just get in the bed, I think that's fine.
It wasn't worth the thing. I told you I don't really like taking naps in the bed because the bed is for long sleeps. If I'm trying to do a short nap, I want somewhere I'm mildly comfortable.
What's short?
Less than an hour. I wasn't even technically trying to. I didn't really intend on taking an hour. My naps generally aren't for that longer time. It's usually for a short thing. If I knew I was trying to get me a sleep in there, like an hour plus sleep, hell yeah, let's hop up in this bed, whatever. The naps, couch and stuff is for naps, and that's just, I tell you that every time. Because then I got to get in the bed, I got to take clothes off. I don't lay in the bed with clothes on. That's a whole thing. Give me this good recliner, I'm good. I'm knocking out for 20, 30 minutes. I'm fine.
Where are we going with that?
Oh, so that was just an example of those self-imposed expectation. You never set that expectation. You didn't say any of that. But that was something. You had to get up when I
Yeah.
But that was in my head. So then, which also fed into the following events of when you're coming in there and you're saying, hey, we're supposed to do the things, whatever.
Now you mad because you didn't get a nap and
all of this. I'm like, girl, you just woke me up. You've been sleeping for however long. I barely got to close my eyes.
I came into the living room and you started talking to me.
Yeah, because I can't be asleep. The best way to not be asleep, I'm talking to you.
What you not sleep? You made it seem like you would just close your eyes for like all of maybe 2 seconds and then open them up again, like you didn't even sleep at all. You told me you was in the middle of a nap.
I know I was fading in and out because I had one ear open for when you was getting up.
And all transparency, we laugh and joke on here, but it is not always sunshine and rainbows, and I think that is healthy because we are learning to love each other the way that the other person needs to be loved as we mature and grow. And so I'd like to acknowledge that as something that is super important to acknowledge. That if you are in a space where things are not going so well, don't think because people are on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and wherever else smiling and laughing together that they don't also have times where they have to work.
So I was thinking about that earlier. So I think for a long time, we never really had any bickering or disagreements or anything like that for a long period of time.
A long period of time when we was together? Were we dating?
For the length of our interactions is.
Yeah, we always argued about dating.
Yeah, so that doesn't really count. I don't think to me that doesn't really count. But a part of that was I feel like it was a symptom of her lack of comfortability or assuredness in her position. as we have grown in our relationship and she's grown in vulnerability and trusting our union, I have seen a different side of my wife that was not necessarily, it wasn't safe enough to show before. So
yeah, trusting that this is solid.
Yeah, so you had to be more agreeable to an extent in a lot of things.
Which I apologize for, because that gives a
false pretense, whatever, false picture. And I would venture to say, a lot of people might have that. Even when we was watching this Married at First Sight thing, I'm sure there's one of the couples on there, what's it, Nicole and Chris, who, by all intents and purposes, seemed like the couple that everybody knew were going to make it. But one of the big issues in their relationship was the fact that Nicole suffered from a lot of insecurity because of things she experienced in her past. And I would not be surprised if their lack of real arguments and cohesion and stuff in their relationship, part of that is a side effect of her always not being sure if he's gonna continue to choose her and not wanting to.
And Chris being a people pleaser.
And him definitely, he's a people pleaser. But because that assuredness wasn't super developed at that time. Even Dr. Cal said it was like they haven't really had any real disagreements, and I hope that when they finally do experience a real disagreement, which is a kind of a healthy thing, as long as it's a healthy disagreement, that they don't think, that's actually like a bad thing or a sign that they're falling apart. It's just a natural progression of a relationship. You don't have to yell and scream. That's not healthy. But we're two different people with two different opinions. Even if we are alike, even if we agree, there's going to be somewhere where we descend. Like, sandwiches ain't supposed to be cut horizontally. You cut them diagonally. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And we've there's other random things we found in
like
the kitchen.
Toilet paper goes in the lunch.
Yeah, that weird nonsense. Towels and stuff going there. My thing is, it's not a big enough closet is one part of the reason, size-wise. But then we also have more than one bathroom. So why do I need to go run to the hallway with doo-doo? But if we out of tissue, and what sense does it make to the toilet tissue
you don't store a whole
being all the way over there?
That's weird. That's weird.
I don't know. If we got the room, we could fit them under the sink. But stuff like that. There's gonna be some kind of disagreements. My wife she mentioned it before. She is really good about not allowing us to settle in that space of, well, fine, it's it's my fault, or okay, just saying okay, just to appease the situation and trying to leave it essentially unresolved.
So I think you listened to it too, but. Tab and Chance talking about the whole concept of like not going to sleep angry, and how they disagreed with that.
Because some people need to.
Some people need the break. Some people need the space, and I think
need time to still to think on their feelings before they could just say stuff.
I think you should figure out what works best for your relationship. Because some people need to take rest and then get up and be like, oh, it really wasn't that big of a deal. We're good. Or, oh, I slept on it. It really is that big of a deal. We need to hash it out at this point. And some people need
that time so they don't cut with their words, because that's their first response is something negative or destructive.
I think we're getting better at closing the time space when the conversation starts. I know for me, I have been working on not getting quiet and going to do other things, because it is really easy to, again, just kind of turtle in and not really talk about it. Or
this is a special pillow, right?
Yes, that's Nana's pillow.
That's what I thought.
There's something between us.
It's a heat buffer.
But I have a bad habit of getting really quiet and not speaking up and just being like, everything's fine or nothing's wrong or
whatever. Big nothing, but I can't say I don't say it too. So
have gotten better at that, and also realizing that if I see that he is still upset or being passive in some way, shape, or form, I am calling it out. Me too, but calling it out so that we can finish the conversation, because I don't want to go and be all at peace and blah, 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 everything's good, yada, yada, yada. I'm in the middle of something and you come in, and another thing. And I'm like, whoa.
And there's also a lot of things that self-work, probably going to, is something I'll bring up in therapy, I don't know. In my mind, I always defaults to, if somebody did me wrong, or you did something wrong, or did something that I don't like, and I wasn't able to make you understand or agree that you did the thing wrong, then you have to be punished some way, or you have to feel this feeling some type of way, and that is not healthy. But I can at least acknowledge and know my mind goes there, and it's so hard to get out of that space. Like, retribution. No, you have to. That's the only way to make you understand. If my words didn't make you understand, then you got to feel it. You got to feel it.
And when I see you be like, okay, you're right, it was me, I'm like, nah, because you were trying to get your get back, and I don't I don't want no parts of that. I don't even want to let my guard down for you to be like, I got you.
See, you feel that? You remember what 3 weeks ago at 3:13 p.m. when you did the thing?
I'm like, no, what is it? Tell me now. Don't surprise me later. What is it now? So we can talk about it, because I don't want no parts. I don't want to be at peace thinking everything's good, and then you hit me with the okie doke, and I'm like, oh, how did we get here?
This one in my back pocket.
Right. No, sir.
And who was I? We were at dinner with friends that had been married for a little bit longer, and talking about how we work through disagreements and stuff like that. And they were saying about how healthy that is, and how many marriages fall apart because people don't do that. And I definitely understand why people don't, because it's hard. It is definitely hard. It's a very high level of accountability. It's a high level of accountability, a high level of responsibility, and by no means do I think, we're better or anything than people that have all these years on us in marriage. We just benefit from, one, this is something I benefit in the wonderful wife that God has bestowed upon me, because I would not have ended up in a space if I was with somebody else, or if I was by myself, I would never have pushed myself to be in this uncomfortable space, or to learn these things, or to be in therapy and to question myself and my actions and my thoughts and motivations ever. No reason to. So it is, for me, it is because of my partner and what she requires of me, what she's motivated in me, and the scene and environment that she has facilitated, that has created this space where we do this work. But it is work, and I think a lot of times, even in still dealing in it, I still fall short, and I appreciate her in picking up the slack to still prompt me with those questions of, is that really how you feel? Is this where you want to lead the argument, or no, say what you really feel, or whatever. Digging deeper in her own emotions or motivations to take it that much further, so we can reach an understanding and not just say, all right, yeah, cool, whatever. So I hope that these types of conversations, these types of whatever that content that we put out here, help and facilitate other people, regardless if they have more years on us, to do these same things, or to, at least take some parts of this and like, oh, I could use some of that. Oh, that's not going to work for us, but maybe this might be something, we want to try and see how that goes.
I think the fact that we are being proactive is a testament to how serious we take our vows and our commitment to one another. And everybody isn't equipped with the tools in order to be able to do that. So I want to acknowledge that just because you are not equipped with those tools does not mean that you don't take it seriously. But because we do have those tools, we're able to use them to make sure that the things that we said 8 months ago, that we mean 8 months later. Like, that we continue to keep up 8 years from now, 18 years from now, whatever. And so that means that we, for us, Justin and I, have to have the conversations even when they're uncomfortable, that we have to communicate, that we have to push one another to speak even when we don't feel like speaking. And again, that's what works for our marriage. That's what helps us to keep moving forward. If it works better for you to take a nap and take a break and come back to it, cool. It makes more sense for you to talk about it in the moment, fine.
Maybe y'all have to write each other letters.
If y'all gotta yell, and then come back and take a deep breath and then talk through it, then.
No, man, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend yelling, but
I don't either. But I'm saying all that to say, find what works for you. Figure it out. Try it a different way. If you've been talking crazy to each other and that's not working, try it a different way. Try it with a little more self-control. But I think it's also important to remember what.
So I'm thinking, if you've been trying it the self-control way, maybe you need to yell. Maybe they're not hearing you.
If you've been too passive, maybe you do need to yell. Maybe they do need to know that you are serious.
Some people need a good cussing out.
A good cussing out. That's not what I'm saying. But we said in our vows that we're teammates. We're on the same team. And so if we're on the same team and we are playing soccer and he start going in the opposite direction.
That's a random sport.
I don't know many others.
Soccer's your sport of choice?
Football?
I'm just asking. I don't know what you know.
I feel like basketball is so back and forth that makes sense for them to go back down.
All of them have designated goals inside, so it works. It works.
Are you okay with going to soccer? Do you have a
It's fine. It seemed random. I was like,
Soccer random?
Yeah, a little bit.
Pass the ball back and forth toward each other?
You don't do sports like that, so I don't know.
I played soccer.
That's why I figured this.
I played soccer a long time ago, Sex.
Once upon a time.
I was little, but I played.
Go for it. I'm sorry.
So we're playing soccer and we're trying to get to the goal over here, and he start running that way. He's being counterproductive. I can't pass the ball backwards to you to get forward. And so remember, we're on the same team. We're working together to get to the same goal. Is something that helps us to continue to move forward and to stay on task.
Yeah, it was. I was fighting a yawn, so I was trying to keep my mouth closed. Yeah. Weird things.
Yeah, that includes saying the things past just what you feel in the moment. Do you mind if I just share like a tiny bit?
Oh no! I've already put the thing before. I desire transparency, but you have more of a reservation in that regard. So you are the person that is setting how much you're allowed to share. I'm going, for the most part, tell my business.
So my husband was saying that I made a comment, and he was saying that I made it sound like it was his job to do X, Y, and Z. And essentially it came down to doing stuff that wasn't necessarily asked for, and then feeling the pressure or the weight or
self-imposed, the self-imposed expectation
of it, and then being upset when I'm then asking for things. It's like, essentially, you already asked me to do all of these other things.
Yeah, you asked me for all the stuff you didn't ask for when you never asked for them, but you see me doing the stuff you ain't asked for, and then you're going to actually ask me for something. How dare you actually
ask
That's
for
me.
something.
Told you sometimes people need a good cussing out.
Are you talking to yourself? From me to you?
Talking to them.
Talking to them. About
I don't, whoever they, not for me, but for
them.
they situation.
What they got going on.
Tell her. For your situation, not me.
Not you.
Not me.
Not you.
That's I would.
I would never. What?
But I don't. Whatever you do, I don't know.
People.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I honestly forgot where I was going. That happens more often than I like to admit.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
so self-imposed things, and you made a request, an actual request, and that then becomes overwhelming because I already have all these things that you didn't tell me to do that I think you expected me to do. Point being, you need to talk and say words.
I don't remember what the point was. Kind of rabbit hole. Like I kind of lost where I was going.
That's fine.
It's okay.
I don't know. I feel like this has been a productive episode.
I don't know.
Got some clip-worthy
Can't tell if we
content.
were rambling or if we actually said some good stuff. I think we said some good
I
stuff.
feel like we did. I feel like I made a mental note of like when you were going on a little mini monologue. I was like, oh, this might be a good longer clip here. And I'm like, yeah, with some music in the background. I had planned it all out in my head. So what's up? Nah. One of them songs they be using.
Girl, you're working with.
You're
That's it.
dumb.
That's
This is one of them soft songs, like the one I put it behind the grandma video, and it's like, my love for you, I do. And when you really love somebody, you said something. You gotta take the time to see them. And sometimes you gotta cuss them out. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna clip this. Okay, yeah. I don't know. It was like I was paraphrasing. You said something beautiful.
Yeah, you should talk to your partner, get to the root of the things, figure out their motivations behind the things that they're doing. Because we kind of figured that out today of like, oh, you do this and a third because you're trying to achieve this goal. And where some of those pressures may come from and all of that. But yeah, do what you need to do in your relationship that'll work for you. If you've been doing the same thing over and over again, don't be afraid to try something new. I don't think that you should cuss anybody out. Can we agree on that?
You said something about yelling and arguing. Oh yeah, yelling.
You might need to yell it out a little bit.
Some people's yells are cuss words. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't advise
I
to your partner sideways because, you care about them and you care about their feelings and you love them and you don't want to do anything that'll scar them or hurt them or make you feel like you don't actually love them or value them or.
So then don't yell at them.
I mean, sometimes you just speak a little passionately.
Send them mixed signals.
Okay. Don't yell. Talk in the baby low tones. Cool. You agree on that?
Sure, it's fine.
Sure, it's fine.
As always, before we get out of here, I want to shout out our number one sponsor, Black Girl Bless Handmade Polymer Clay Earrings. BlackGirlBless.com. Hit them up. Check out the website for promotions, details, all the things for whatever the latest drops are.
Instagram at black.girl.blessed.
All the things.
Anything else?
Now follow us, like the podcast, share, subscribe, rate us, do the things. We need them 5 stars. I don't need no honest feedback. I want 5 stars. You can write an honest comment or on the thing. I manage the social media. It's fine. So I got time for the smoke. It's cool. But the rates, 5s and above. 5s and above. We want 10, so rate us, log in from another email and rate us again. Yeah.
All of that. Until next time.
We out.
Bye.
I I do.